How's it going? This is Sherrod Seward, managing member at Sherrod Sports Visas, Oakhurst Legal Group, having another global business chat in sports. One of my favorite people in the combat sports industry, one of the only good guys in the combat sports industry, mon frère, Fernand Lopez. How's it going?
I'm fine, brother. I'm glad to be here with you. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing okay, which is good for me because normally I'm doing bad because immigration is nobody cares. Like people only care when it's going bad.
Well, I mean, I think you don't have that much problem that we have. Like before I met you, everything was just going bad down. Because I'm the one that I can talk about visa, because I'm the one with the immigration since the beginning, because I'm from Africa and then
Right.
moved to France, live now in France, and that was kind of complicated to have my father going around the world. But since I've been working with you and you can solve things, you're a magician. I know it's not easy though, but you at least you give me hope sometimes. Like so I think
Sometimes I think everything we've done has eventually got done. You know, we've had a couple of snags, but it eventually gets done. And one thing's interesting, I don't think you remember the first time we met. You still had I want to say you had braids. It was it was in Boston, Massachusetts. And I remember at the time I couldn't even afford tickets to the fight. I was just hanging out in the hotel trying to meet folks because I'm from Ohio. So I've been to law school in Cleveland. I've done a little jiu-jitsu class at Strong Style. So I was over there on Team Stipe. Then I heard you talking French, and you were talking to Mick Maynard. And that's why I introduced myself. You're looking at me like, who the hell is this guy?
And to be honest with you, I'm a little bit ashamed because at that time, when you talk with me, I didn't really pay attention of what you were saying because you give me some indication about your job,
right,
about the law and immigration and everything. And you give me the thing and said, I think you will need me at some point. We can do something together. And I was like, dude, I don't really know what you're talking about because I mean, this will make me look bad. But because you didn't look any fancy, because I'm used with lawyer that they try to bring you the bling bling in the face, and then you don't really know what's going on inside, right? And I'm very glad that I did keep in touch with you, and finally I'm like, now every time I'm ringing your phone and you don't know how to put me anymore, you don't know what to do with me.
What are you talking about? You get straight to me. You got the bat phone. Not there is a bat phone, everybody else. I think what it is too is my French wasn't as good. Like I just wasn't speaking French a lot at that time. And of course, I don't necessarily walk around with suits on all the time. Like, so a lot of clients will see me at a fight and then they'll see me like, hey, did I see you at this fight? And I'm just wearing regular clothes. I don't walk around, with a lanyard, looking like I'm working.
Definitely. And I'm the first guy to say to people, don't mind about how people, the wear out the look when you meet them the first time, because they don't judge the book by the cover, right? Like you said. But when it happened to you, because you're busy and you're trying to work, and someone is bringing you that opportunity, you're like, okay, I'm kind of busy now. What a little bit, And when you dig, you're like, oh my gosh, how many times that I missed so much thing that we could have get advances on that, And now I'm glad to deal with you guys because we struggle a lot. I have a lot of guys coming to my gym, coming from, people, they don't know that when I have this guy, the guy Z going fight to the main event in the contender series, you are the one who's pulling the problem out. They don't know that when I have Ciryl Gane having the P1 visa, you are the one who's doing that. They don't know that even myself visa, but the e-visa or whatever I have to do, you're the one who's doing that, about the job, the business visa. And so I would like to, I really want to take advantage of this stage to let people know that this is not a joke. I mean, you literally changed my life, the way you approach the thing. Like, okay, I have a lot of lawyers that are working with them, but having someone that you can call, text, and even when you're busy or in vacation, you will take care of me, or at least give me a number of someone who can take care of me. This means a lot for me, because when this happened to you, it's always emergency. Like, oh,
right. It's like, what I'm gonna do, right? I need someone now.
I need someone to help me, you know, because the UFC matchmaking, they have deadline. The business, they have deadline, and having someone who can just answer to you right away without having you pay all the communication in advancing counsel, lawyer, that's kind of different. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you, brother.
Well, yeah, and I'm also grateful for the opportunity that you give me too, because your athletes, the first ones, or some of the first ones that we actually had that were in the UFC already, which allowed us to do some things, because we're one of the law firms that we work a lot with the management companies and get guys visas before they're signed. And it was a whole thing of that we had to fight the immigration services that said, well, these guys aren't signed to the UFC. How can you get them visas based on the UFC schedule? And I remember we had a case denied, and we went and appealed it, and basically told them, like, it's not in your own rules that they have to be signed. We just have to show you that the UFC is putting on events. We do our special sauce and we beat them over the head. And the way the argument works is like this. This can't be the case, because in track, the track star doesn't have a contract with the racetrack, right? And they grant the P1. A guy that rides horses doesn't have a contract with the racetrack. They have it with their race team. So how can it be the case that fighters need to have a contract with someone in order for you to grant the P1? We just have to show you that there's actually events going on. The UFC happens all the time, 3 years. You can see it on TV. Do they have a contract? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about
that. That's why I call you the magician, because Alain Bodo case, you remember Alain Bodo case?
Yeah.
That was kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Because, he didn't have the contract at the time. And that was kind of tricky to pull out that visa. And we married, and finally Alain ended up fighting in the UFC in Abu Dhabi, and then come back to the US with that visa and make it. So really, thank you very much on the thing that you're doing. I don't know how you do that, but you know your job. I'm just a trainer, so I don't really know how you're doing that. But and also sometimes there are people that are working on the shadow that we don't really talk about them. You have people that answer when you are not available. I really need to say thank you to them, because your team very professional. Every time they will make sure to come back to me and give me the solution and give me. Thank you very much for.
It just becomes on the market, because like now we have calls coming from all over the place. Like I literally couldn't do it myself, and I was trying to. So now we have people in Singapore. We have people in Singapore and Philippines just to be awake when I'm asleep, that really know what we're doing. We got people that write in India. That we got people here. So that's how we get it going. We have somebody is awake 24 hours. And the Filipinos team, they're really good at doing the interviews. And we actually have somebody in Russia that just does Russian interviews, and probably get somebody in Mexico that just does Mexican stuff. But that's the only way that it all gets done when people call, because it's like, hey, I'm stuck at the interview. I need an emergency appointment tomorrow. It's just like,
yeah. Okay. Even not about the appointment, like the wording, the wording to how to manage
the expedites,
the interview. Like sometime, last time that I talked with one of your girl, and she gave me all the point that I have a guy that was like, okay, I'm going to corner someone, but at the same time, I'm going for my P1 visa.
Right.
What is the speech that I have to give there? Because they kind of complicate the question that they're sending me. So
right.
I call her, I explain her everything, and she just give me the right answer right away. So yeah, I'm the one who asked to talk with you because I needed that stage so I can say thank you, because
I appreciate
it. I'm glad to give the opportunity. This is my job. I don't want to lie that I'm doing that because I'm just trying to help fighters. This is my job to make them fight. So as a trainer or manager, I can have some percentage. But beside that, I'm giving some people and some family jobs. I'm giving them hope in the life, and you don't know that, but with the how they say the butterfly effect, you bring that and make that happen because of what you allow me to do. Then I can push them and give them something to live with, and so. Thank you in my name and their name. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate that. And, that's one thing I always think about, how it's just like a whole livelihood. A lot of times, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but the promoters themselves are trying to get out of doing visas unless they have to. And they're expecting more people to have their stuff already set to come in. So it's just like, if you can't get your P1, a lot of times you can't come fight in the UFC. You know what I mean? They just leave it to yourself. So that's why we always take it very seriously with the unsigned fighters, because, that's it. It'll be this one thing that's stopping them from having the opportunity to change their lives. And speaking of changing lives, you got a big fight coming up. What's that fight? I'm trying to come.
Depend. I feel like all my fight is kind of important now for me. Like
I know you guys said, I'm talking about the heavyweight championship fight. You know what fight I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay. But before that, in 2 days, I have Nasruddin Imavov fighting for the place for the top 10 with Edman Shabazi in UFC 268, which where Usman Kamaru and Covington would be headlining. So nice. That's not a small thing for me.
That's a big fight too.
And I know that with Nasruddin, you did help me also. I was asking you advice about Nasruddin going to Canada at the time, and so that's something that concerns you also. But yeah, you're right. I have my two boys, Francis Ngannou, who was in my gym before, fighting against Ciryl Gane, who is now the interim champ, and they will be facing on January 22 in LA. So yeah, that's the fight that you're talking about. Yeah.
Now, is the fight in LA or is it in Anaheim?
Anaheim.
Is it in Anaheim? Yeah, I'm definitely trying to come out to that one. I think that's going to be a great fight. It might be fast because they're both so big. You know what I mean? It might last 45 seconds or so, but it's going to be amazing.
I hope they're going to last a little bit more because, first of all, because I like the entertainment of the fight. I like it. I don't really enjoy that when it's going that fast, and also. I'm a coach, and I would like to, if I can trade my place with your place, so I can just have popcorn and sit back and watch. That would be very big fight in the sense that you have the best form of IQ, fight IQ against the best form of the best expression of strength and power that you never seen ever in your life. So. We will know that day if the power matter or if the fight IQ matter. I mean, I'm not trying to say that Francis do not have the fight IQ. Is definitely intelligent, but and I'm not trying to say that Ciryl Gane don't have the power. It's definitely it can knock everyone out.
Yeah.
But Francis has the kind of power that we never seen before, and Ciryl Gane have the kind of fight IQ that we never seen before. So that's why I like that fight coming up.
Well, I'm gonna have the popcorn, and I'm gonna have the beverage, and I just don't want either one of those guys to get hurt. So I'm already ready praying, that whatever the conclusion is, that both athletes are able to walk away and go spend time like with their families. That's the only thing about the fight business. I just say, good luck, better preparation, and let everybody, figure out who's better today without getting hurt too bad. Now, having this interim champion brings a lot of attention to the MMA Factory and what you guys are doing. So tell us, like, what are you working on? Because I know you have other stuff besides the gym too, right?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm working on the RS, which is the leading promotion in France, MMA promotion. So Nassourdine Mavov fighting tomorrow. Josh Parisian, they were fighting in RS, and then they won their last fight and then get called by the UFC. So it's major promotion going on live on UFC Fight Pass and a couple of TV in France and Europe. So I'm working with them and talking about that. I'm going to contact you soon because I will try when this year is end. When we get into the end of the year, I will try to get my promotion established in America. So I will just contact you, and so you can help me with a bunch of paper that I don't really understand what's going on when I try to get it.
We're kind of being a specialty. We last promotion we brought in is I could talk about. I'm working with a couple of them, but Cage Warriors is also on there, and you'll have a much easier time. It was the visa interview stuff that ended up being kind of crazy there, but they put on 2 shows in San Diego, so we're getting pretty good at that, bringing in the promotions in, which is like it's a whole thing. I'm glad I know how to do it, but like that first time was like, okay, this is some heavy lifting. But since you're coming in later, you got it down to a science. I got you, buddy.
So I'm not even worried about that. I just know that I need to do my things good, and then send you the files, and then I know you will figure out how to
take it from there.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll get into a little bit so people there might be other promoters that are interested in coming to the United States. The first place, they look, well, what visa category should we go into? Because some of them look into L visas, which is an intercompany transfer, which basically says I'm making a division of my same company in the United States that exists, and you can bring people in on the L visa. I don't like it because there's a lot of nuances and tranches where USCIS can kind of trip you up, and it's harder to bring in unskilled. Like, so if you have staff that you want to bring in and they're not like highly skilled, like with degrees and stuff like that, it's just really tough. And in the fight business, people don't necessarily have degrees, they have experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so what I like to do is I like to put somebody on an O1 visa, namely the promoter. And I usually try to do it under O1B. I basically say the promoter is producing a TV show, and that allows me to bring in all the other staff persons under that O2, which is the essential support staff. And those are 3 years long, which is great, because if you did the L1 the first time, it'd be only a 1-year visa. So these ones get you to 3-year visas. You can bring the staff. The next thing I'm going to try to see is if, because sometimes you have fighters that aren't ready for a P1, they just don't have a good ranking. Yeah. I have a theory that if you, as a promoter, say, I have an O1B, I'm producing a TV show, and bring in fighters as essential support staff, they could fight on that. And
no way. Are you serious?
I think so. I need somebody brave to let me try this, and see what it happens. I'll do it for free.
I'm the one. I'm taking that opportunity. Let's go.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, so if that works, you can get these people, these fighters here on O2s, like, really simple, because it has much less of a standard as the P1. Because the P1, you usually have to be ranked top 300 in the world to have, at least 7 to 14 fights. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just, you don't need all that with an O2. So I'm gonna tell them like, yeah, I'm a promoter and I'm gonna bring in some fighters. And when you bring in those fighters, I'm saying they're getting an essential support staff. They're gonna fight on an O2 and see if they tell me no. And then if they tell me no, I would just like, why? I don't see when the rules why they can't do this. So that's the type of stuff we're doing over here. So I'm excited. We got to try that one out. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, it's okay. I'll fix it.
That's very humble from you to admit that you can be wrong, but at least you will try and you will be honest with your client. Like, oh, this I don't know how to do that. That's one thing that I like working with you in terms of, oh, Lopez, I'm not, I can't, this that you asking me when, like the last time, Ciryl Lopez was, had the visa.
Yeah.
And they needed to have the stamp in the passport.
Right.
And I called you and asked you, can you make that happen like quickly? Can you make sure that they give me the stamp tomorrow? And you said to me, man, I don't know how to do that. I mean, if even the president cannot do that, there's no way you can do that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I did try something. I'm going to tell you what I did. So I had 3 interviews for fighters at Paris, all around the same time. Y'all interviewed there within 3 days, right? And they all had the 212F waivers. Okay. One of them was a French woman, Caucasian, Mava with a top rank. There was Hassan Nadam.
Hassan Nadam, that's my brother. I don't know if you know that.
No. I mean, I never, we eat him. So
okay.
I did his work
together. We grew up together. He's like my brother. I'm his manager actually. Yeah.
Well, shit, I didn't know that. So he went in on an 01, and then we had Lapalus on the P1, right?
Yes.
They give Mava her visa passport the next day. And so meanwhile, I'm looking at Taylor and Hassan and their visa sitting there. I emailed the consulate and the subject line is like, urgent potential media inquiry. I said, I have 3 fighters, all the same papers. One of them got their passport back. 2 of them didn't. It's obvious what the only distinction is here. You guys need to explain this because it doesn't look good. Basically, I'm saying, are you being racist? Are you being racist right now? That's why I sent them in that email. They're like, oh, I got an email the next day. We're kicking this up to the next level. Hey, Hassan still doesn't have his passport. It hasn't come back yet. Yeah. So that's one thing you're looking at there is like, in my line, like I can set it up for the best case of success, but the consulates are doing stuff that's like unpredictable. You know what I mean? You just kind of got to be smart and put pressure on them. So in like Hassan's case, we had to have the senator in Nevada call the consulate, and they said, unfortunately, his visa's been, I guess, processed for delivery. So hopefully he'll have it in the next 2 days. But he's fighting in November 20th. They've had his passport for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Asking for, you know what they're asking for? They said, we need evidence of the waiver. I'm just like, we do, I'm like,
the waiver is the evidence. And you ask me the evidence. Right, and
it's just like, you know what to ask for? It's just like, you could just email OCCFFO and ask them. And it's just like, you must have known we had the waiver because you expedited the appointment. It was just 2 weeks. 2 weeks they've had this passport. But that's what I did. I basically was like, you gave the white lady her passport. Why these 2? Like, what's different about this? I'm like, I only see one obvious distinction.
There's only one distinction that is obvious.
I said, I sent them all with the same shit.
Is it that?
All right, I got one more question for you. Now,
tell me.
How'd you get your haircut so wavy like that? Did they cut that in or did you brush that? What is that? How'd you do that?
Goodness. Well, this is a haircut. Kind of hard to do. Take a little bit time. It's like you have some dreads, but not actually. I mean, it's just a haircut, nothing special. I'm getting old, so I think I need to change that because I'm using this haircut that's like 10 years now, and I keep doing that, so I need to stop because now I'm too old.
Yeah, I was wondering if he just got waves. He had to brush it and wear a do-rag. And it's just he got so wavy that they had to cut it in. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
No, this is Bob.
Maybe I'll get like maybe when you go bald, I'll take it on. I'll take it like a helmet and I'll put it on. I'll start rocking that. This gets hot in the summer, all this stuff. I'll cut it off.
Man, I don't know. I mean, you look 20. You still have all your hair, everything on point. I don't know how you do that.
Hey, this is what all that immigration work did to me. Past 3 years, putting all that stress on my face, but it's okay. The lady says it makes me look distinguished, so I'll take it.
I mean, it's a good sign. That means that you're working and you're always busy. That's good. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like people will be upset, like sure, it's hard to get you on the phone. I'm like, you understand if I'm on the phone, I'm not helping you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not helping.
You need to understand that if I'm on the phone, even with you, I'm not working.
That means I'm not doing nothing. All right. Well, I won't hold you up too much. You're in New York for the fight?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm currently in New York. So this is Thursday, and after tomorrow is the weigh-in, and after tomorrow is the fight, and then on Sunday I will be heading back in Paris.
All right. Well, you have a great weekend. Good luck, better preparation, and hope all your fighters stay safe and get back to their families with victories.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Because the most important thing is the health. So if they can go back home safe, then I'm very happy for that. Thank you, my brother.
I'm gonna try to get up to Paris soon. Maybe I'll get in the gym, do some jiu-jitsu. Don't just tell them nobody hit me. Don't anybody hit me.
Please do that, and they're going to try to get advantage of you and try to get the payback, because they're like, well, we need to. This guy is making me wait a lot with my visa because it's busy. Now I got to have a guillotine on him, so I can choke him, and next time that I have my file, it will push very fast.
Tell them to bring it. I'm more ready than they thought. Bring it on. I'm just playing.
I'm just kidding.
Right. All right. Peace out. You have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.